He's here with us, ladies and gentlemen. That's our chief guest, Shri Sameer Unhale, who is the State Joint Commissioner of Urban Maharashtra. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause. Come on, come on, come on, come on, please. Yeah, whosoever we are here. Sir, can we please have you? Yes. We'll also get you a caller mic, or the podium is okay. Okay.
So, very, very good evening. Those who are inside the room, those who are outside the room, and others who will be watching on maybe YouTube after a month or so. So, thanks a lot. Opportunities of collaborations are very important. And however little they might look like, but the value these collaborations create is something that we all should cherish, and that's the reason I'm here. So first of all, I must thank to Krypton for inviting me here, sponsors most importantly for making this event possible, and so the delegates who have contributed their time, which is truly invaluable. You can print money, but you can't create time. So for the time that you have invested into this activity, the money you have invested in this activity, so thanks a lot for that. From our side, we are always happy to welcome all such collaborative events in the state of Maharashtra, which remains the most industry-friendly state in India, as well as Mumbai, which still remains the financial capital of, shall I say, the Indian subcontinent now. So the reason I am here actually is to see as to what synergies we can have. The fintech, the NBFC, and the smart city space, which I actually work. I had an opportunity to work as the CEO for the smart city in one of the places around Mumbai. And that's the reason we had traction with technology, with the financing part of that. And I felt that the way other sectors are adopting to the new technology, somehow cities can learn from them as to how can they make their cities livable, their cities inclusive, their cities resilient, their cities sustainable, their cities smart. So that's the reason I'm here, to interact and engage to you more than what I speak from this podium. When I look at the opportunity of the NBFCs and the fintechs and how the smart cities can help we can help each other, one thing becomes very clear, that the city is just not roads and buildings and metro networks and the water, everything else. It's the people which actually makes the cities, the homes, the families is what makes the cities. And then, of course, the economic activity, the interactions, the wealth that is generated into the city, as some of you might be knowing, that almost 60% of the GDP of India and maybe 80% of taxes that are collected comes from the urban areas of India. We are in Mumbai. You will be surprised to listen the figure that this city contributes to almost 8 lakh crores of taxes to various levels of government. So the wealth that is generated is huge, and therefore, after all, I don't want to be philosophical in the evening, Friday evening, definitely not. But money ultimately is the quantification or the quanta of socially useful activities that you and I do. So it's not a piece of paper, it's not a lump of metal, nor is it a heap of sand and cement. It's the quantification of socially relevant and useful work that you and I do. And therefore, when we say that the GDP of Mumbai probably is X trillion rupees or Y trillion rupees, what we are essentially stating that socially useful contributions of work of the citizens and companies who are working here is generating that kind of quantum, and that's something very exciting for people like us who are working in the urban spaces. As you know, we had the climate accord in Paris in 2015. In 2016, we had the Habitat 3, in which the new urban agenda was done. And of course, in September 2015, we had the Sustainable Development Goals high-level political forum in New York. And these three define the global consensus as to how the urban world will be moving in this century. There are approximately 30,000 to 35,000 cities and towns in the world. And as we sometimes say, what exists is cities and towns and villages, and everything else, in a way, is imagination. So we ultimately have to come down to the level of cities and towns and villages and see what new technology, how new technology can contribute and make things livable, make things lovable, make cities happier. So this is one of the reasons as to why we are embracing technology, including digital technologies, into making our cities. I know all of us are in Mumbai, and there are many challenges which come up due to the gaps that we see. As we say, the temporal coherence of action and cause and effect sometimes do not match. And these gaps do create certain challenges for us. And it is here we find that technology can make a leap forward, a quantum leap forward. Because all said and done, our country was under a colonial exploitative rule for 2 centuries, and all the wealth that got vacuum sucked out of the city, of the nation, our 2 generations probably are slogging for that. So for us, technology and its use in cities is very important. As I said, the economic contribution that cities make is almost 60% of, maybe more than that, the GDP. And it is here I find the synergy of NBFCs, the fintechs, and smart cities very exciting and very important. That's also here to seek your advice, to seek your help, and maybe suggest, request that you also invest your time and money and space into the NBFCs and fintechs helping the smart cities. So one might ask, what is common between the NBFCs and the fintech? Of course, we know the connection, but how are they related with the smart cities could be a very obvious question for us. So anything that happens in city ultimately happens in some form of money, as I said. And anything that helps facilitate the transfer of money, anything that helps facilitates the velocity of money, as we called it in economics, whatever helps the velocity of money anywhere is something that needs to be supported and helped. And this is where I find this fintech and NBFC helping the smart cities, and therefore this topic. So as we know, any city, of course, Mumbai, as I said, is the financial capital. But you'll be surprised to know that 500 million people in India stay in cities. So we are those who are from probably when we did our college in late 90s or early 20th, first decade, we did learn that, India is a country of villages, and that romanticism of village and that nature, whatever, erotica, whatever it was, somehow didn't acknowledge that strength of cities that we could have had. And post that, we had almost substantial investments happening in urban spaces. You'll be surprised to know, last 5 years, post-COVID, I might be saying, 8 trillion rupees, 8 trillion, that's 8, what is it? Maybe 8 lakh crores, whatever, is what is getting funded by the government of India to the various cities of India. Only by government of India. That's 8 allocation, I'm saying. 8 lakh crores is the allocation and that doesn't include what is happening in metros and airports and seaports and whatever that's the thing. So what we are looking at is this wealth that the city generates comes from the efforts of you and me, and also, as we call the foundation of the city, the city makers, as it's sometimes called. It might be the rickshawala, the taxi driver, the street vendor, the women self-help groups. They do the foundational, basis of any city, also, and therefore the economic part of that. So one of the requests would be, what can be done by the NBFCs and fintechs to connect the foundation of the city makers, have financial inclusion for them, and capture their journey from probably below poverty line to a middle class status. And how is it that this journey can be helped by fintechs and by NBFCs? From the smart city side, of course, there are many examples from the other cities like Paris tries real-time insurance of car. If you are doing the car sharing, they do subsidize some of the premium for that. And of course, there are renewable energy and everything else that is getting funded. So we have to realize that India is still a $2,800 per capita income dollar economy. And obviously, when we start comparing ourselves with countries with $80,000 per capita, obviously there is some difference into that. So what we are calling as our poor people or urban poor, it is not that there is a dearth of talent or hard work. Skills, yes, there could be some limitations on skills. But what is more important is that financial support that can be given to the foundation of the city, as we call it, by NBFCs, and how is it that it can be also made into a valid, viable economic opportunity for the businesses who are working into it, because you are not government. You have to make your profits, you have to make employment, you have to pay tax, so you have to generate wealth. Government can afford the luxury of not generating profit by that sense. But of course, the efficiency and effectivity of expenses and activities is very much what is required. So this is what I think can be tried. You'll be surprised that women self-help groups, the number will be easily around 3 crores in India, all across the country, I'm saying. There are various ministries and departments which are coming up with multiple mission schemes in which the women are, I won't use the word helped. It's not charity. It's not, that holier than thou, paternalistic or patriarchal sort of things we are making. If anyone can generate wealth with proper skills and financial support and the facilitation and efficiency and effectivity of the fintech industry, connect that with the NBFCs and make it available to the foundation of pyramid, I think that's a huge, huge business opportunity that somehow has not clicked. Maybe I am probably more, I'm probably non-realistic in understanding the economics of it or the financial viability of that. But since I definitely feel that the smart cities comes up from smart people, it comes up from skills and finances and appropriate business opportunities. And I'm sure if this is done, we could have a very good quantum jump into the trajectories that currently our cities are. There's a study which was done in 2008 by an economist in Maharashtra, that the economic contribution of maybe an agricultural laborer and maybe that of the same boy, had he been turned into maybe he had done some BE engineering, B.Tech, into computer science, the difference in wealth generation and contribution is 2,000%. So if a boy, maybe from a official area, just remains a agricultural laborer, the wealth he contributes to the society, and if the same boy is trained as a maybe B.Tech, he's a computer science, he works in a fintech company or NBFC, his contribution will be 2,000% more than what he wants. And that's where I believe is a great opportunity. When we talk, India has to be $5 trillion economy, $10 trillion economy, or Maharashtra has to be $1 trillion economy in, say, whatever time we have. This is a fantastic business opportunity where CSR is available, where government missions are available, and their hardcore business sense is also available. So this is one of the reasons I felt that we can connect smart cities, we can connect fintech, we can connect NBFCs. As I said, micro loans are given. The women's self-help group is a huge sector. It is unbelievably profitable sector. It is extremely rewarding sector, but somehow that has not been incorporated into the fintech workflow. And such opportunities is what I think can give a substantial push to the economic goals that we're looking at. We of course have to be resilient, because we can, whatever may be the situation, we should be in the position to overcome that. And as my time is coming down, I remember a poem, which of course not by heart, but the meaning is that, probably it's written by Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, which says that, "Oh Lord, I don't pray that you don't give me difficulties. But I definitely pray that give me the strength to overcome any challenge or problem that I might face. So, with that, I will take your leave and once again request you all to also consider the foundation of the city, as we call it, and the inclusion of them into the fintech. And I'm sure this will be a great contribution that we can be doing. And maybe lastly, all of us are now soldiers without uniforms. So the misinformation and disinformation things will be there for next whatever duration we're looking at. And let's be conscious and aware of information hygiene that we can follow and not forwarding useless, unverified WhatsApp messages into what we are doing. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me a patient hearing and being present in the room. So thanks a lot for that. Good evening.
Yeah, can you just be on the stage? I would like to request Shraddha and Prachiti to please come up on the stage to felicitate our chief guest. What a wonderful talk. Let's give it up for him. And the message that we take away is, yes, we are soldiers without uniform and we have to take care as educated individuals to not forward any misleading information. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you so much for being a lovely, lovely audience. Thank you. Thank you so much.